Hello, everyone. Sarah here. Today's video is going to be about the most impactful feeling that all of us can feel, and the greatest wound. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know I work with people who are overcoming or on this path and on this journey to deeply discovering what truly has caused the inner wounds that they're carrying today, the experiences that they're having today that are leaving them feeling completely worthless, helpless, hopeless, all the lessons that are leaving them filled with anxiety, sadness, depression, stress that's impacting their relationships, their careers, everything in their life. So we're going to get into that today, and I'm going to be modeling and demonstrating for you the most impactful wound. The most impactful wound, and the wound that all of us carry, especially if we're finding ourselves attracted to, connected to, entering into relationships that are unsatisfying, unfulfilling, that are emotionally neglectful, emotionally unavailable, emotionally abusive, is the disappointment wound. And the disappointment wound goes way, way back. So I'm going to be using my non-artistic skills to demonstrate this for you today. I love art, but I'm not an artist. I'm not the most incredible artist. No Picasso. So let's get into the demonstration wound. I'm going to share with you something that I just shared on Facebook that inspired this. It was a story from one of my recent clients and her powerful, powerful breakthrough in our one-on-one work together. I not only work one-on-one with clients, but also work with clients through my self-paced program that also includes incredibly powerful therapeutic sessions using transformational healing, getting to the very core and the very root of what's happening underneath the surface, what's happening internally, what's happening unconsciously, what you've gone through, what you've been through, what you've experienced that's caused this most impactful wound, this disappointment wound. And this disappointment wound is a feeling of letdown. Feeling of letdown is not a very good feeling. And it's one we've all experienced. It comes from emotional neglect as a child, emotional trauma as a child, and doesn't just magically go away. This disappointment wound is like a little grain of sand in your shoe that at first you don't really feel, you don't really recognize, you don't really acknowledge, you're not really aware that it's there. But if you continue walking, you continue going on this journey, eventually that little grain of sand, that tiny little rock, is going to continue to rub and rub and rub. It's going to begin to irritate. It's going to begin to cause a wound to feel this sense of irritation. And over time, if you don't get it out, it causes infection, it causes pain, and it grows and it expands. And this disappointment wound is much like that grain of sand or that tiny little rock in your foot or in your shoe that's rubbing, and irritating and opening up and causing more pain, causing more infection, causing more tension, and causing more discomfort in your life. Not just physically, but we're talking emotionally. And the difficulty with emotional wounds is they're often invisible. All of a sudden, you've got this big wound, you've got all these big issues and this big impact in your life, and everything seems to be not working out, but you don't know where this started, where this came from, how this began. And so it can feel very, very confusing. By the time that you realize you're in this world of pain, and you know you've been in it for a while, but you don't know where it started because it was invisible. You didn't really feel it at first. You didn't notice it. It was so small, and now it's become so big. And that's very much like this disappointment wound, this feeling of letdown. That first initial feeling of letdown is like, okay. And then you're told to get over it. It's not a big deal. Move on. What you're still crying about that? Come on now. Toughen up. Be a big girl. Pull your britches up. Let's get going. Come on. I don't have time for this. And that's like that little tiny grain of sand. So it's not just disappointment and letdown, but it's not being able to do anything about it, not being able to change it, to stop it, to fix it. Because the first time that this happens, when you get that first little tiny rock or grain of sand in your shoe, you're a little kid. And most often you're feeling this disappointment, this letdown from your caregivers. And the thing is, when you're just a small child, you're dependent on adults. for your needs to be met. You're dependent on them. You can't just say, you know what, whatever, I'm going to go buy it myself or I'll drive myself, because you don't have access to the things that they have access to. You don't have the ability to drive a car, to leave, to get out of there. You don't have the ability to buy yourself something. Let's share an example just to kind of make this even more prevalent. Say, for example, there's a new movie that's come out, and you were raised in a family and you had very hardworking parents. They worked a lot just to make ends meet. They lived paycheck to paycheck, and you had a normal life, right? You weren't completely spoiled, but you weren't on the streets, and you had clothes and toys. And there was this new movie that comes out, and it's your birthday. And you're excited, and for months and weeks up until your birthday, you're asking your mom and dad, can we go? Can we go? Can we go? I'm really, really, really excited. Can we go to this movie? And they say, yes, of course, absolutely. We can do that for your birthday, sure. And it gets closer and closer to your birthday, and you're so excited. And you're seeing previews for the movie, and your little friends are talking about the movie, and their parents are taking them, and you're like, don't tell me about it. I'm so excited. My parents are going to take me for my birthday, but they're not going to take me until my birthday. They said that I had to wait until my birthday, and I can't wait. So don't ruin it for me. Don't tell me. And you come home and, hey, mom and dad, little Tommy and little Susie, they went and saw the movie, and they're like, that's great. Can we go? Can we go? Yes. I said, we'll take you for your birthday. Now stop asking. Okay. Can we get popcorn? Can we get candy? Can we get this? Can we get that? Can we get the early? Really, really, I want to sit in the front row. I want to sit in the front and center. I want to, I'm so excited. And they're like, yes. Okay. Chill out, calm down. All right, I'm just so excited. And then the day before comes, and you're like, Mom, wait, I gotta work. Sorry, maybe next weekend. Huh? No. No. That's not what you said. You said we'd go for my birthday. I've been asking you for months and for weeks. And you said we'd get popcorn. You said I could sit in the front row, front and center, and everyone else has already seen it. You said it's my birthday. We could go for my birthday. You've made me wait. I know, but I have to work. That's what parents have to do. Parents have to work, okay? Who do you think is going to pay for the movie? How do you think they're going to pay for the movie? You wanted popcorn, you want candy? That's going to be like $50. I have to work. Okay. Really? Now you're going to sit here and cry about it? I said I'll take you next week. Oh my God. No? Okay. That feeling, that wound, that rock, that grain of sand. And you're told to get over it. It's not a big deal. It's just a movie. Why are you acting like a baby after all that I do for you? I said I would take you next week. Okay. I know. You put your head down, you go to your room, and you cry, and you try to not cry. You try to not show your emotions and your feelings, but what you're feeling and what you're experiencing is disappointment, is let down. And it's not just that, it's not being able to do anything about it. You don't have money, you don't have a car, you barely just learn how to ride a bike because you're 5 or 6 years old, and you're feeling like Tommy and Susie's parents already took them. They already know. And they talk about is this movie and how incredible it is, and how much they love it. And they're actually going to go see it a second time with their Nana and their Papa. I haven't even seen it one time. And it's not just that disappointment, that experience and that feeling, that letdown. It's the fact that there's nothing you can do about it, that you're not able to change it. You have to sit with it. You have to deal with it. You have to suffer. And it's that feeling of pain, the disappointment and letdown that isn't going anywhere. Not just because of the disappointment and the letdown, but because there's nothing you can do about it. And that feeling of disappointment and letdown leads to the next feeling of sadness, leads to anxiety, leads to worry. Okay, should I even get excited for next weekend? I know that they said they would take me next weekend, but that's what they said about this weekend. And this weekend's even more special than next weekend because this weekend's my birthday. Next weekend's not my birthday. So if they wouldn't take me on the birthday that's my weekend, or the weekend that's my birthday, why would they take me when it's a weekend that's not my birthday? And so you start to feel anxiety and worry. Should I trust them? Should I believe them? I trust and believed that they would take me this weekend, and they should, because it's my birthday. It leads to fear. It leads to sadness, worry, anxiety. It leads to fear. I don't know. I'm afraid that they said they're going to, but they're not going to. I'm afraid to get my hopes up. I'm afraid to trust them now that they're actually going to. I know they said they're going to, but they said they were going to this weekend. They've been saying this for months. So now I'm afraid to trust what they say, and that what they say is true. I'm afraid to believe. I'm afraid to get excited, because now when I get excited, it just leads to letdown, to sadness, to worry, to fear, to anxiety. And this compounds over time, leads to depression. It leads to not being able to trust anyone or anything that they say, even though you really want to, even though you really want to believe and you want to hope, and you want to wish, and you've been dreaming about this movie and how exciting and how incredible it's going to be. And you've been dreaming about the smell and the flavor of popcorn and Sour Patch Kids, and hearing the of your soda and getting a free refill, and be so excited, and you're allowed to have it all because it's your birthday. And now you're 30 years old. You hate your birthday. You never make a big deal about it. You don't get excited about it. And in fact, every year, when you get another year older, you get even more depressed, more anxious, more worried, more afraid. You feel more let down. And now you're 30. You have a car, you have a job, you have a family, you have money. You could take yourself, you could take your family to the movie. You could buy yourself all the popcorn. You could buy 10 bags of popcorn. You can sneak in candy if you want to, because you can take yourself to the store and buy candy beforehand to even save some money if you wanted to. You don't have to get the kid-sized cup. Now you could get the 64-ounce cup of soda if you wanted to. But what's the point? What's the big deal? And now every year when your birthday comes around, you feel that disappointment even more, but not because you can't do anything about it, because it hurts so bad that first time. That little grain of sand, that disappointment, that letdown, over time has continued to rub and rub and rub and rub and rub. And now is this open wound to this infection. So much so that every time you put your foot down, it hurts. Every time you take a step forward, it hurts. Now you're feeling that pain. You're still carrying that pain. And now it's not just every time it's your birthday, once a year. It's every time you think about getting excited for something, looking forward to something, hoping something will come that you really, really want, that you're excited about, that you're looking forward to. Now you find that you can't get excited about anything at all, because excitement now leads to letdown, to disappointment, to sadness, to worry, to anxiety, to fear, to I don't care anymore, whatever. And now you no longer allow yourself to get excited, because now in your unconscious mind, excitement means letdown. Excitement, looking forward to something, hoping for something, means disappointment, means sadness, means shame, means get over it, means you're a baby. So now, I don't care. And now you don't believe in good things anymore. You don't believe in good things, exciting things, fun things, happy things anymore, in an effort to not feel that sadness and disappointment anymore. And now those feelings have been replaced with helplessness, hopelessness, and that belief that was planted like a seed in your unconscious mind when you were a little kid. There's nothing you can do about it. And this all developed, even though you're in your 30s now, this developed when you were just a little kid, 5 or 6, whatever age. when this experience happened and you couldn't do anything to avoid that pain then. You couldn't say, all right, whatever, see ya, I'm out. I'm taking myself to the movie. Here's my money for popcorn. Here's my soda. I'm calling my bestie and they're coming with me. Because you didn't go to the movies alone when you're a little kid. You were excited and you depended on the people who needed to take you. And you were disappointed and let down when they changed their mind because they had to work. And now, well, I have to work. I don't do fun things. I have to work. Do fun things. I have to work. I can't go here. I can't get excited about that. I have to work. Work. And now it feels like whatever. What happened is that you unconsciously created a defense mechanism, a protective mechanism, a coping mechanism to try and protect yourself from feeling those feelings, to try and change the belief that you were powerless and this was all your fault. It was your fault because you got too excited. It was your fault because you kept begging and asking, and your parents got sick and tired of hearing you beg and ask and plead. It was all your fault. And now this inner voice says, it's all my fault. It's my fault. If only I hadn't asked them to go so many times. If only I hadn't asked them if I could have popcorn and candy and soda. If only I hadn't said, can we sit in the front row, front and center? It's all my fault. Maybe if I hadn't asked all those things or said all those things or asked or said it so many times, they would have taken me on my birthday. Because the next week came and they had to work again. They were busy. They had other things to do. And in fact, still have never seen the movie. And in fact, when people talk about movies now and how good they are and how they can't wait to see them, I feel this rage inside, this anger. I hate going to the movies now. And now when you talk about movies or the greatest, the latest and greatest, you feel and you experience that rage and you go off on people, you lose it, you start an argument. That's the last thing you want to do. And people go, whoa, what's up with you? Because now as an adult, you're still living with those feelings from that first experience. That first time you felt that disappointment and let down, but not just the disappointment and let down, the fact that you couldn't do anything about it then, and now you're still living with this inner subconscious belief, there's nothing you can do about it, but you're not a child anymore, and there is, but the subconscious mind is extremely powerful. And it allowed you to create protective mechanisms, coping mechanisms, defense mechanisms to try and protect you from those feelings. Yet you're still carrying those feelings, that little grain of sand, that little rock, that little is now this big open wound that you're carrying, and it hurts, and you're projecting it onto yourself, and you're projecting it onto others around you and those that you love. You're projecting it everywhere. That pain, feeling of letdown, helplessness, powerlessness, disappointment. And all you ever wanted was to just do something fun and something exciting. So this disappointment wound is very much like that, the most impactful wound, because it impacts everything you do, every thought you have, every belief you have, every feeling you have. You're this little kid who was once happy. Told you, Picasso. Couldn't go to the movie. The little tear, crying in your room, the corner alone. More tears, more sadness. And now anything that you get excited about becomes that. The experience of the movie, experience of getting yelled at the first time that you tried to ride a bike and you fell down. You felt, I'm so stupid. This is all my fault. I hate this. Not getting invited to the birthday party, not getting picked to play on the softball game first or the kickball game or whatever. Mom, dad yelling at you. First time you got a B because they expected an A. Come on now. I didn't raise no stupid dummy. And you're thinking, well, I guess you did. Because stupid dummies don't get A's or don't get B's, and I got a B and not an A. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. And all of these experiences that leave you feeling let down, disappointed, sad, you're not worthy, you're not deserving of it, there must be something wrong with you. They compound over time. Every time you have one now, you have these experiences and they just feel heavier and heavier and heavier. The first time your boyfriend or girlfriend breaks up with you for your best friend, and they cross out your name and the little love letter that says I love, and they cross out your name and they write your friend's name, and you're thinking, I had plans for us to get married forever. You breaking up with me? And all of these experiences of disappointment, sadness, anxiety, worry, fear, letdown, they add up and they compound. And then as an adult, you grow up and you're still under the weight of all of this disappointment, this heaviness, and this letdown. It feels heavy. And now every time you experience it as an adult and you have the opportunity to speak up and say something about it, you retreat. You go to be alone, to cry, and all of these beliefs. It's like proof. See? Here's another one. See? Can't even speak up for yourself. You got fired from your job? Yeah, it's because you're no good at it. Just like you were no good at everything else in your life. And now, as an adult, you're living under the weight and the heaviness of all of this disappointment, all of this fear, this worry, this anxiety, this sadness. And not only that, but the feeling that there's nothing you can do about it. And all of these have impacted the unconscious beliefs that you have about yourself that lead to the feeling of disappointment. All of these, well, those are all shame. All of these times, those are all proof that I'm not worthy of love. All those relationships I had that didn't work out, it just means I'm unlovable. Clearly, I'm not lovable. If I was, my mom would have taken me to the movies on my birthday. She would have called into work and called in sick and said, it's my child's birthday. I am not coming in today. I've been promising them for months that I would take them to this movie, and that's what I'm doing today. I'm not coming in, sorry. But she chose work over you. And now you choose work over everything else. Or alcohol to numb the pain. All these, you're not pretty enough. All these, you're not smart enough. You're not putting in for that raise at work because they're going to choose little Miss Thing over in the corner over you, and you just know it. So why even put in your application? All these, well, I'll never get out of debt. Whatever it is, they're compounded over time. From the very first time that you felt that first disappointment, that letdown, that most impactful wound. And it wasn't just that, it was the belief that there's nothing you could do about it, because when you were a little kid, there's only so much you could do. And now you've been carrying that and all of these others with you. The beautiful thing about the inner healing transformation and getting to the very core and the very root of these is you don't have to necessarily remember, oh, it's when I was 5 and my mom or dad wouldn't take me to the movie on my birthday. And now I was so excited about that. Now anything exciting, I just, ugh, what's the point? I don't care anymore. You may not remember that specific event. You don't necessarily have to recall that particular event. What you will remember and connect with is the feeling. And the transformation occurs within the very core and root level of the unconscious belief you developed about yourself because of that first initial, most impactful wound, the feeling of letdown, the feeling of disappointment, the feeling that there's nothing you could do about it. Now knowing there's a million things I could do about this. I have power. I have the power to do something about this. I have the power to choose something different. And rewiring, reprogramming that inner subconscious belief you have about yourself changes the feeling, changes the emotion, changes the energy, changes the experience, changes the way that you live your life, removes all of these. Like, it's like taking this entire group and going, getting rid of it, removing it, releasing it, letting it go. You no longer need to live your life carrying around these heavy past emotional experiences. And when your inner subconscious mind connects to the very core and the root of the energy, the thoughts, the emotions, the feelings, the beliefs around these things, it can transform them. And it can transform them like that. You don't have to go through each one of these individually, one by one, by one, by one, by one. Some people believe that, some people say that, and then that's the reason why they say, well, it takes a really long time to heal. Yeah, if that's the method you're trying to use. You see, each one of these experiences carries energy, carries emotions, carries thoughts, carries beliefs. And when you get to the very core and the very root of it, it's like, oh, that applies to all these, doop, gone. That applies to all these, doop, gone. That applies to all these, boop, gone. Because now I do have the power. Now I can make a different choice. I'm not a helpless, dependent child anymore, dependent on people who are going to say things like that to me, do that to me. And if they even tried to, I don't need to sit there and take it. I don't need to go to my room and cry anymore. I have power, I have choice, I have opportunity now to do something different. I don't need to believe that there's nothing I can do about it now. I don't need to be under the weight of these emotions anymore. I don't need to live my life like that anymore. So if you're still living your life like this at 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, no matter how long you've been living your life like this, you no longer need to, and it doesn't take forever to transform and change. It does not take forever to get out under the heaviness of the weight of this. It doesn't. If you don't believe me, it's fine. I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to share opportunity with you. If you don't believe me, I invite you and encourage you to go check out the success stories on my website of other people that I've worked with who transformed so quickly from years and decades of past emotional abuse and neglect from relationships, from the most impactful wound, from the disappointment wound, and now live lives of encouragement, passion, excitement. Yeah, of course, we have relationships, and in some ways we depend on others in those relationships, but we don't need to depend on disappointment anymore. We don't need to carry around the weight and the heaviness of that disappointment wound anymore. Are we going to be disappointed? Yeah. Does it mean that there's something wrong with us if we experience disappointment? Absolutely not. But in that moment, in that instant, when you were a little child, you believed that there was something wrong with you. And now you can live your life as a free adult who, yes, experiences letdown, but doesn't mean something's wrong with me. And it doesn't mean that there's nothing I can do about it now. And I don't need to carry around the heaviness and the weight of this emotion anymore. Okay, yeah, that sucks. But you know what? I don't suck. It doesn't mean that I suck. It doesn't mean that it's my fault. It doesn't mean that there's something wrong with me. You can live your life now free, completely transformed from the most impactful wound, from the most impactful feeling. Completely transform it and live a life free from that. And that's what I'm here to share with you. And that's what I'm excited to let you know about. The power of getting to the very core and the root of it. The power of utilizing your unconscious mind, of transforming your inner belief system to one that empowers you, motivates you, excites you, propels you, gives you energy to wake up every day and go, oh, yes, to see the positivity, the opportunity in things, to completely transform your life from the inside out. It's phenomenal. It is so empowering. Everything changes. All of your relationships, when the relationship you have with yourself changes, with your inner beliefs. You begin to believe in yourself, trust in yourself. You begin to come alive again. It doesn't mean that these past events and experiences didn't happen. They did, but now they're opportunities to their power. Like, I don't need to be attached to the negative and the heavy emotions of it. I now know I don't have to live like that. And it's because of those events that led me to this event and led me to this opportunity to get inside my unconscious mind and completely transform it, reprogram it, rewire it so that I can change the trajectory of my life, so that I have opportunity, availability, and choices now, so that I regain power and control my life, the direction that it goes. It's so exciting. I wanted to share that with you, insight to the most impactful wound. And if you're living with it, no, you don't have to live with it any longer, but the choice is yours. The opportunity is yours. It's up to you. What are you going to do with it? You're going to allow yourself the beautiful gift of getting to the very core and the very root of it, or are you going to continue to walk around with it, carry it, feel the heaviness, feel the weight of it, project it on yourself and everyone else? The choice is yours. If you're ready for that powerful inner healing and transformation, I invite you to our program, Transforming Past Pain to Present Power. I have a free webinar on it. You can find out more information in the description below this video. You can watch the webinar. It's about 1 hour and 20 minutes. Or you can simply book in to connect and work one-to-one together. There's different options there as well. So you can find all of that and the information on my website. It is rewriteyourlife.com, and there's dashes in between each word. You'll find it in the link below. All right, guys, that's it for today. Mwah! Much love to all of you, and I look forward to your powerful transformation. Bye for now.